Hello and welcome back to another episode of BHS TV News. I'm your host, Simon Abohasira, alongside my co-host, Benji Stern.
Today we have coverage on You Matter Week at BHHS, the May 5th bond proposal, the Democratic candidates going into the primaries, and the environmental benefits of thrifting.
BHS TV News starts right now. A little over a month ago, the world was shocked when basketball legend Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna died in a helicopter crash. On February 24th, Kobe's wife Vanessa Bryant held a celebration of life to honor the legacy of her late husband and daughter. The memorial took place at the Staples Center in LA and was open to the public. Vanessa also decided to put all ticket proceeds towards the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, which provides funding to underprivileged communities in hopes of positively impacting the lives of those within them through sports.
And even if you were not able to make it out to LA and attend the service, you can still pay homage to Kobe and his family by making a donation of your own to the Mamba and Mamacita Foundation.
The celebration of life certainly illuminated how important Kobe was both inside and out of the world of sports. But you don't have to be a celebrity to make a positive impact on the lives of those around you.
You Matter Week is coming up March 23rd through the 27th. Throughout the week, students are reminded of the importance of taking a break from their own hectic lives and telling other people how much they matter. Here is Noelle Seawick to bring you up to date on what to expect for this year's You Matter Week.
You matter.
You matter.
You matter.
You matter.
For BHS TV News, I'm Noelle Seawick. You Matter is a program focused on empowering teens to overcome mental health challenges and suicide. The You Matter initiative is celebrated throughout high schools all over the U.S. Here at Bloomfield Hills High School, we see it's very important to spread awareness for mental health challenges.
There is a lot that goes into You Matter Week here at Bloomfield Hills High School. Here is Kayla Bernard to tell us a little bit about the value we see in You Matter Week.
Matter Week to me, I think is just a week to kind of just spread awareness and just have a bunch of activities to kind of help end the stigma and just start the conversation about these mental health illnesses, because whether it's severe or it's just minor, everyone goes through these things, and I think it's just really important to just get the conversation started.
The You Matter organization has inspired thousands of teens to overcome depression and negative thoughts about themselves. There is a week-long campaign hosted by the You Matter organization. There are endless amounts of activities happening at Bloomfield Hills during the week of You Matter. Be sure to go to some of these events.
Yoga sessions, meditation sessions. We have some things called Real Talks where kids can come listen to former BH students talk about their own lives and then participate in small group discussions. We also have TED Talks where teachers and students will come and tell their own stories. And we will end the week off with everyone wearing purple to show our school unity. We'll have student appreciation events and teacher appreciation events.
Hey Benji.
Yes, Simon?
I just wanted to tell you that on behalf of myself and all of us at BHS TV, you are such a positive asset to this team. In other words, you matter.
Thank you, Simon. You and all of the BHS TV matter a lot to me, too. But you know what else matters?
The giant May 5th school bond that the district is proposing?
Well, I was going to say stir-fry Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I guess that bond is pretty important, too.
Good thing Allison Osland has us covered. Allison is here to fill us in on specifically what the bond entails and what its passage would mean for the future of our district.
On May 5th of this year, the Bloomfield Hills community will take a vote on the bond that will change the future of Bloomfield Hills schools vastly. We interviewed Superintendent Mr. Watson and Director of Physical Plant Services, Brian Goby, about what the bond could mean for the future of our schools.
We've recently identified $33 million in critical needs in our K-8 facilities, and when that was presented to the board about a year ago, they asked us to look at the entire district and consider grade reconfigurations and our other facilities as well.
The $200 million bond that the community will be voting on May 5th, 2020 plans to completely reconfigure the structure of the elementary and middle schools, as well as making improvements to older parts of BHHS.
The elementary and middle school will be done fall of 2023, leaving only the 2 preschools to be done 2024, 2025, and then any last things at the farm or at the nature center to be done 2026. So instructional spaces will be done first. So that new configuration of K through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12 would be in place for fall of 2023.
After listening to Mr. Watson and Mr. Goby, we can only speculate on how the community will react to this bond and how it will affect future generations. To take part in this historic decision, don't forget to go to your local polling station on May 5th. For BHS TV News, I am Allison Osland.
Thanks, Allison. For all viewers over 18 in Bloomfield Hills, don't forget to vote on this major proposal in the May 5th election.
And speaking of upcoming elections, the start of 2020 means the next presidential election is quickly approaching.
Several caucuses and debates between the Democratic candidates have already taken place and will continue throughout the coming month. However, one group of citizens used an interesting strategy to share their political views. It might sound like a fabricated story straight from The Onion, but a group of anonymous individuals calling themselves Pigeons United to Interfere Now, or Putin, recently claimed responsibility for gluing miniature Make America Great Again hats onto the heads of pigeons in Las Vegas. 25 of these pigeons were released on the evening of the Democratic debate in Nevada. While it is likely that Putin released the birds as a sarcastic statement of loyalty towards the president, the group has publicly asserted that it was meant as a gesture of support and loyalty towards President Trump.
Not everyone is laughing at the birds. However, some environmentalists view it as animal cruelty, and others criticize Putin for poking fun at the upcoming election and the future of the nation.
This election in particular is already off to a bit of a precarious start, since many of the Democratic candidates are extremely close in recent polls as they fight to win their party's nomination.
Jack Brown is here to explore what each candidate brings to the table and how they have performed thus far in today's special report.
Thanks, Simon. Welcome to the BHS TV News Special Report. I'm Jack Brown, and today we'll be going over the 2020 Michigan primary. Let's get into it. For over a month now, the Democrats have been touring the country, going from state to state to convince voters to vote for them in either their primaries or caucuses. At the time of this recording, we've been through Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg won the controversial Iowa caucus, while Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders took home the New Hampshire primary and ran away with it in the Nevada caucus. In a little over a week from now, voters in Michigan will get to have their say in who they want the Democratic Party to choose to run for president. The first thing to take note of is that Michigan will be an open Democratic primary and not a caucus. What this means for voters is that you simply go to your local polling station and, if you've registered to vote, cast your vote for who you want to be the candidate for the party, regardless of if you are a registered Democrat or not. Now, upon first glance, even with many of the weaker candidates dropping out over the past few weeks, the field may still appear crowded. However, 5 have been able to pull away from the pack and establish a solid chance to win the primary, according to polling aggregate 538 as of February 23, 2020. Currently polling the lowest of the 5, Pete Buttigieg has 10.2% of the vote. However, the former mayor has been able to outperform expectations in both Iowa and New Hampshire. Some of Pete's most notable policies include abolishing the Electoral College, a public option on health care, and universal background checks on gun purchasing. Pete has been known for having a foot both in the progressive wing of the Democratic Party and the more moderate establishment base. Coming in fourth is Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, clocking in at 12.8% and has been underperforming in all early states, never finishing better than third prior to this point. Her most notable policies involve reining in big banks by reinstating Glass-Steagall, along with proposing a wealth tax on the nation's highest earners, such as Jeff Bezos. In third and rapidly rising is former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who to date has not formally entered into a primary or caucus. However, he will be on the ballot here in Michigan. Bloomberg and his campaign have been mired in controversy since his entry, with many people alleging he has been attempting to buy the presidency, as, among other actions, he has spent over $400 million on just ads alone, hence why you may have been seeing him on basically every screen known to man. He has also drawn ire over his time as mayor, with policies such as his Big Gulp ban and its controversial implementation of stop and frisk in New York, which many have considered its implementation as racist. However, since the public backlash, Bloomberg has apologized for the policy. Currently in second place is former Vice President Joe Biden with 17.2%. However, this is down from 28.2% at just the beginning of the month. Although early on he was looking to run away with the nomination, Biden has now fallen well below expectations in early states, with his best performance being a second-place finish in the Nevada caucus. Biden has gone out in support of policies such as a $15 an hour minimum wage. However, he has been criticized sharply for his voting record while in the Senate, vocally opposing school busing during the 1970s and voting for a bill that essentially outlawed gay marriage during the 1990s, among others. Finally, we come to the state frontrunner and national delegates leader, Senator Bernie Sanders. Back in 2016, Sanders won the Michigan primary in the biggest upset of the primary cycle, and he looks poised to win again. Currently sitting at 26.3% and rising in the polls, Sanders has taken on the mantle of the definitive progressive candidate, supporting policies such as Medicare for All, protectionist trade practices, and eliminating many corporate tax loopholes, partnering it with a version of Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax. Bernie's message has appealed to Michiganders before, and as things currently stand, it looks to appeal to voters again. So with all that in mind, I hope you can make an informed decision on who to vote for on March 10th. If you are registered to vote in Michigan, I implore you to go out and vote. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m., giving you the whole day to make the choice. Our country will thank you for performing your civic duty. For BHS TV News, I'm Jack Brown. Back to you, Simon.
Thank you, Jack. With the Michigan primaries coming up this month, it will be interesting to see how things will change between now and then for each of the candidates. One of the big issues that is always addressed in these debates is the environment. Although the government has a huge responsibility towards protecting our natural resources, a new study shows that your online shopping habits could be costing the environment more than you.
Online shopping increases in America and around the world every year and will reach an all-time high in 2020. The issue is that more online shopping, consumers want faster shipping speeds, which means that more vehicles are making an increased number of small deliveries, leading to a substantial increase in pollution.
This particularly applies to those who select same-day delivery from companies like Amazon, and also those who have begun to regularly order delivery of fast food and groceries. These food deliveries especially often cannot be combined with orders from other people, so we have lots of vehicles shooting all over the place making single deliveries.
To help slow down or stop this problem, it is suggested to try and shop locally and to order delivery for food and groceries as little as possible. Make trips to restaurants and stores part of your daily commute so that very little additional gasoline is being used. You can also try increasing your use of mass transit.
Besides limiting your online deliveries, BHS TV reporter Cole Bewick recently explored the positive impact that thrifting can have on lowering pollution. Cole's here with the story right after the break.
Do you dream of standing up in front of all of your peers at graduation on June 7th, wearing your beautiful gown and giving a beautiful commencement speech to send off your fellow 2020 class? Well, your opportunity has arrived. On March 11th, during advisory in the Performing Arts Wing, anyone from the 2020 class is welcome to audition. However, you must see Ms. Mezzi or Ms. Lapone in the main office to receive detailed instructions on how to sign up for an audition time slot. Can't wait to hear what you have to say.
With the rise of teen activism, we've also seen a rise in teen action.
One step kids are taking to reduce their carbon footprint is thrift shopping.
In this modern age, the pressure to stay trendy and stylish seems to break the bank, with high fashion stores like Zara, Saks, and Anthropologie selling their clothing at expensive prices. In fact, the Nordstrom website has clothes priced anywhere from $30 to several thousand. Something once looked down upon, thrifting has seen a sharp increase from 2009 to now. If you manage to sift through the unfashionable clothes, you can find the ultimate teen shopping experience, unique vintage pieces that even a babysitter's salary can afford. We talked to sophomore Heather Chen, an organizer of statewide climate activism and an avid thrifter.
So personally, I buy a lot of clothes, and I know it's really bad for the environment and it makes me feel bad, so that's why I like thrifting.
Avoiding wasteful stores like Forever 21 reflects a bigger movement. Teens want guilt-free clothes, free of carbon and chemicals. Secondhand stores ensure that your money doesn't support the production of new clothes, but rather the repurposing of old.
Also, you get to find stuff that's more interesting and than your typical standard retail store. So you still get items secondhand for a lot cheaper, and if you want to get brand name things, then that way you can ensure that they're authenticated.
This effort to support the climate can seem daunting at times when sustainable brands like Reformation charge hundreds for their clothes. Thrift stores can help with this too.
Thrifting is good for the environment. Essentially, we throw out tons and tons of clothes each year, and it just goes to wastelands.
So next time you're thinking of going shopping with your friends, don't go to the mall. Visit your local thrift store, help the environment, and you might find something you like for a good price. I'm Cole Bewick with the BHS TV News.
And with that, we conclude this month's edition of BHS TV News. If you have questions or suggestions for us, feel free to send us an email at bhstvnews@bloomfield.org. Tune in to This Week Today for updates on school activities, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at BHSTV News and on Instagram at BHSTV.news.
Tune in next time for more news around the world, in your state, and in your classroom. I'm Benji Stern.
And I'm Simon Abohasira. Thank you for watching.